The following review is intended for entertainment purposes and targeted for adult fans of the series.
So they head over there, they being Nate and Devin and Chris and Jackie and Sland. Hello there, heroes. I'm the Orange Ranger, and welcome to another Power Rangers Beast Morphers 2.0 episode review. You may have noticed that I said there that I'm the Orange Ranger, but there were Halloween graphics, and we've got a Halloween set here. This is my compromise. You see, this video is quite late, a number of different reasons for that, but I am reviewing an episode that, despite not being a Halloween episode, aired on Halloween Day. So I felt like there just needed to be a little bit of a compromise. So in this video, I am the Orange Ranger, not the Pumpkin Ranger, but I'm still wearing my Pumpkin Ranger shirt. Full lighting, but we've still got the Halloween set and the Halloween graphics. There's an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation where one of the crew members is made super intelligent by a probe to help find its homeworld. At the end of the episode, he's wondering how he goes back to just being himself, and Counselor Troy tells him that there's a moment in life where we all exceed our own expectations, and the key is how we live up to that going forward. That overly wordy setup is what Beast Morphers is dealing with in this episode. We've had 5 incredible episodes in a row giving us things like the working in of Space Sheriff Goblin footage that we weren't expecting to see, and then a 3-episode crossover event that led to a team-up with all 3 dinosaur-themed teams of Power Rangers. But now, that's all over. Now, Beast Morphers has to return to its own story and make that interesting without returning actors, returning Rangers, returning villains, etc., etc. Did they manage to pull that off? Let's find out by taking a look at the 14th episode of Beast Morphers 2.0, Golden Opportunity.
Please make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you can see all of our videos.
Yeah, and make sure you got your notifications set up by hitting that little bell icon so you get notified of whenever we post any brand new videos.
Right you.
What he said was that if you'd like to support the channel in any way financially, you can consider checking us out on Patreon or Ko-fi at Orange Ranger Videos.
Right you.
The episode begins outside the Riptide Gym with Nate and Zoe waiting for Nate's parents to arrive. Nate says that he hasn't seen his parents in 4 months. I would think that the events of this season, not to mention the last season, would take just a little bit longer than 4 months, and don't even get me started on holiday episodes matching the actual calendar, but anyway. They arrive, and I was all set to call the episode out on some weird casting because neither of these two looked old enough to be Nate's parents. At first, I thought that Nate's mom and Zoe were the same age. They look like they're the same age. So I poked around a bit on IMDb and other kind of sites, and these actors don't have a lot of work, so there's not really biographies written up on them or anything. I was just kind of basing this on their first appearances in like children's theater and stuff. But Nate's mom's actress appears to be about 30, and thinking about it, her even being just 10 years older than Zoe is a little bit odd. His dad's actor is around 40, again, I'm guesstimating, but he really just looks like one of the stuntmen with some gray sprayed into his hair.
Get on with it!
You listen here. As long as you voted in the election, I don't care if you bug me, MPG. Nate introduces them to Zoe. Interestingly, he never directly mentions that she is his girlfriend, though they do indicate that they've all been in communications with each other, so maybe that's something that's already come up. And to Steel, their new son. Steel has been researching being a son, asking his mom to read him a bedtime story, and his dad for some money for ice cream. Nate points out that Steel neither sleeps nor eats ice cream, and shoos him away with Zoe. Ben and Betty show up for reasons that really don't make any sense. The two have apparently come to take the parents' luggage to their hotel, But are his parents official guests of Grid Battle Force? They showed up in a taxi and were dropped off at the gym. If they're guests of Grid Battle Force, why weren't they just taken directly to the base or directly to their hotel? You see, this is what I'm talking about when I criticize comic relief like Ben and Betty. I do understand the need for that kind of comic relief in episodic television like this. What I hate is how they're sometimes forced into the stories even when it doesn't make sense for them to be there. They load all of the luggage onto the golf cart that they rode there on, apparently driving that on actual city streets. And we see that they have trouble getting it all to fit on at the same time. And of course, as they leave, a yellow case falls off of the cart. Just spoiling this now, the yellow case has no bearing on the rest of the episode. I want to establish something right now and kind of get a little bit of pedanticism out of the way here at this point. South America isn't really overseas. You could technically, by some definition, say that it is, but really the term overseas is used to describe a place that you can only get to by traveling over a sea. You can get from California, where I believe it's been established the Grid Battle Force is, to South America in a car. Okay? Okay. Nate and his parents catch up in the gym, and honestly, during this scene, I was starting to wonder that if Nate's mom really is about 30, how old was she when she actually gave birth to Nate? Anyway, Nate mentions that he received an email from them that said they were finally going to stop moving around after all the important work that they've done in South America. This is the first mention of what I was just talking about because previously Nate has said that his parents work overseas. He figured that this meant that they were coming home to Coral Harbor to stay. It does not. They've gotten a new assignment, but they didn't like that assignment or want to move around anymore, so they got a different new assignment, or maybe this was the original new assignment. Everything about Nate's parents and what they do, I'm just warning you now, is really, really unclear. Here's the part that matters. They are moving to Costa Rica and will be staying there for 2 full years. And they want Nate to go with them. Nate wants that as well, but says it's complicated, and his dad tells him to think it over. Ben and Betty roll through the town with the luggage, which falls off the cart one piece at a time, and of course nobody that they pass tells them the luggage is falling off, because then it wouldn't be funny. So then they get to the hotel and all the luggage is gone.
That was not funny.
In the lab, Nate tells the others about his parents' offer, coming to the conclusion that he's just far too needed at Grid Battle Force and he's not going to be able to go. However, the others will not let him turn down this chance to reunite with his family. Commander Shaw even suggesting that he start a process of handing over the reins, teaching each of the Rangers how to do things that he does in his day-to-day. Zoe warmly takes his hand and tells him that they can't let him give up this chance to be with his parents. It's a very warm, touching moment.
Just one more thing.
I'm betting that you all can already guess my problem with this scene. It's something I brought up before, especially with Steel, so let's say it together for Nate. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Nate is a Power Ranger! He makes one reference to, what about the team? And the others say that they can just find a way to beat Evox without him. But no, Nate is the Gold Ranger. They need him. Besides, how old is Nate supposed to be again? Isn't he supposed to be like 16 years old? Nate does not need to live with his parents. Yes, I understand him wanting to live with his parents, but he's a Power Ranger. There are higher priorities right now. If he doesn't leave with his parents, if he stays in Coral Harbor and keeps being the Gold Ranger, then they don't have to, and I cannot stress this strongly enough, risk the safety of the planet as well as the Power Rangers multiverse. It can wait. Out in the field, Nate teaches Steel to gather DNA using a flower. I really hope this is just a trial run for Steel because I don't really see the benefits to Ranger suits or weapons of using flower DNA. I mean, Jason Bischoff did just make a pumpkin-themed Beast Morphers Ranger, but that was more based on Pumpkin Rapper's monster DNA. Seriously, check it out on his Twitter, it's incredible. Then Roxy attacks, running through the portal at a flat run and just attacking right away. I just found it kind of weird that she ran through the portal and just attacked them like she could see through the portal to where everything was. I don't know if that's really the case, but anyway, Nate and Steel call for backup and Roxy morphs. Nate and Steel morph as well, the two of them by themselves without the other three Rangers. And they morph at the wrist using the Beast X Morpher on their wrist comm. You know, if they would just take one line to establish that this is something that they can do, like maybe they can summon Beast X Morphers when the other Rangers aren't using them and that's more convenient for them, I'd be totally fine with it. But no, you just leave your lazy, unexplained errors in your show, Beast Morphers. The three have a nice fight, Roxy holding a slight edge on the two before the others arrive. Actually, she holds a slight edge even after the others arrive, maybe because Ravi didn't arrive at all. Devin and Zoe go Beast X mode and use their finishing moves, Roxy landing on the genius idea of stepping out of the way. She then finds the DNA scanner and the flower DNA sample and takes them. Ravi then runs up, saying that he didn't make it to the fight because he was stuck under the Wheeler Zord while he was doing maintenance on it. Back in the lab, Zoe works on a new DNA scanner while Nate reads stories about his parents. As I mentioned, they seem to intentionally keep all the details about what his parents actually do very, very vague. This is how Nate describes it. They get a call for help, they whoosh in there and make their lives better, then it's on to the next call. Secret agents? Life counselors? Home redecorators? Again, it's just kept very super intentionally vague, and this really just allows Zoe to draw an incredibly weak connection between Nate's parents and the Power Rangers. Nate finally notices that Zoe's kind of sad about all this and asks what his leaving means for them. She says that she will wait for him and they can video chat every day until he returns. Nate says that he used to think he was the luckiest guy in the world, but now he knows he is. All right, Nate, I see you. So, over in the Nameless Dimension... Wait, what's that? Oh, I missed a Ben and Betty scene right here? Oh, okay, thank you so much for telling me. I can't believe I would have just not even talked about a scene in this episode. All right, here we go. So, over in the Nameless Dimension, Scrozzle has already figured out a use for the new DNA and scanner. Apparently, there was still some bug DNA left in it, because they combine that with a robot and create Clawtron. Roxy takes the flower DNA, not knowing what it is. She says she hopes it's either wasp or scorpion DNA, and steps into the combiner. Despite it being, you know, flower DNA, she gets a badass new suit, though Blaze does mock her for being a flower. Nate leaves, looking a little bit hesitant in the car on the way to the airport. Meanwhile, Zoe is still working on the new DNA scanner, but she messes up the wiring, which honestly makes Yellow seem sus AF, especially when it travels through the wiring to the TV. The TV was displaying a schematic of the scanner, and then from the TV into a transport case holding the Rangers Morphers, which I found weird in and of itself because I could have sworn the Morphers were stored in the wrist comms and not like transported to them, even if sometimes they get brought spares. It's a little weird. At this point, anyone could see where this was going. Clawtron and Roxy attack, the Rangers show up, summon their Morphers, and nothing happens because of the malfunction with the transport case. Nate arrives at the airport, which is totally an airport, not just a Regis strip mall, because look, a plane just flew over. There was a plane. This isn't a strip mall. There's a plane up there. Anyway, for some reason, Nate still has his wrist comm, so he's able to overhear about the technical issues. He tells his parents that he has to go, promising he will be back in time for his flight, and calls Cruz for a pickup, which I actually thought was pretty clever. Credit to the Rangers, they fight the two anyway, getting beaten around. Nate then shows up on Cruz, having brought the Morphers that they need. So Nate's genius idea was to go and get the stuff that they needed to have transported, meaning that Commander Shaw, Joanne, or anyone else at Grid Battle Force could have and should have beaten Nate to this idea by a good 10 minutes or so. The 5 Rangers morph together, and hey, now that they're together, now they remember that Nate and Steel have different morphers.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Just before the fight resumes, Commander Shaw calls in that a Gigadrone is inbound. We're fighting both a General and a Robotron, so we better just send one Ranger to that so we can keep numbers here. Okay, so let's send Devin, Cheetah Racer Zord, battle mode. That'll take care of things. No. Let's send Nate. I mean, this is Nate's focus episode, right? Mantis Wrecker Zord battle mode. It'll be good as gold. Hey, here's an idea. Let's send Steel by himself in his little bug plane. That makes sense.
Excuse me, what?
Devin goes Beast X mode and tries his finisher again, but this time Nate rides the flaming cheetah for a double slash. Nice! Steel calls for help. What? You mean the one tiny Zord that doesn't have a battle mode is struggling against a Gigadrone? Look, this is my shocked face. So Nate and Devin head over there, Devin's Cheetah Racer Zord riding the Lion Zord in motorcycle mode. After a little bit of fighting, Nate and Steel do my favorite Beast Morphers Zord finisher, Jet Zord Collider Crash. I'm gonna say it once again. You have a Gigadrone problem? Crash a jet about it! So Roxy's not having much trouble with Ravi and Zoe when the other 3 Rangers show back up in a Grid Battle Force car. You were just driving your Zords. Just drive your Zords over there. Anyway, an Ultra Bow Blast and a Beast Blast finish Roxy off. But doesn't actually finish Roxy off. She survives and teleports away, reflecting that she's stronger now. Hey, I figured out why those 3 Rangers needed to show up in a car. The Rangers put on a brave face for Nate, saying they'll handle Roxy's new powers and that he really needs to get going. But they really can't maintain it. They beg him to stay. They nearly blew up the lab today. They need him. He considers this, but then an alarm goes off on his watch. It's time for his flight to leave. Why did he have an alarm set on his watch for his flight when he was already on his way to the airport? Okay.
It just raises too many questions.
In that car, they race over to the strip mall. I mean, the airport. It's totally not a redress strip mall. There's a sign in the window that says airport. It's an airport. And Nate's parents come rushing out to get him on the plane. But as you might imagine, Nate is not leaving. He has come to realize just how much he is needed at Grid Battle Force, and he tells his parents that he just has to stay to help protect the city from E-Box. Boy, this plot seems familiar! Okay, sorry, I couldn't keep that from slipping out now that Nate has officially decided to stay. Deja vu, I've just been in this place before. This is basically a rewrite, and a pretty shallow, low-effort rewrite at that, of the SPD episode Catastrophe, where Kat Manx gets promoted, but eventually turns it down because she realizes she is just needed too much on Earth. All they really did is change the reason the character was leaving, applying it to Nate's family story. Anyway, his parents of course accept his decision, and one thing that I did like about this is that the lesson that Nate learns, the reason he has to apologize at the end of the episode, is that sometimes you have to leave the people you love to do something important. Just like Nate's parents did to him. Very nice kind of mirror realizing the other side situation. Nate's parents say a tender goodbye to both of their sons. Yes, Nate's mom directly addresses Steel as her son. Let's throw some shades. Episode 14, Golden Opportunity. Pros, touching emotional moments with both Nate and the parents. Roxy's flower suit is amazing, and a neat monster. Cons, find and replace of another Power Rangers episode, Ben and Betty's annoyingly meaningless antics, and lots of really confusing moments. A rarity for Beast Morphers. A real stinker. Golden Opportunity was just fool's gold and gets 2 shades out of 5. Between the annoyances of Ben and Betty, lots of sloppy details, and the fact that this was just a rewrite of Catastrophe, this one failed the test I mentioned at the start of this review, doing an interesting core story focused back on the team after a big team-up or event of some kind. It was a nice little focus episode for Nate, I guess, but it was uncreative and sloppy. Honestly, it feels like something that they told the interns in the writing room to write while everyone else was working on Grid Connection, so they'd be able to just jump right back into episode production after that. This episode did once again prove something that I've been saying for a while. For Power Rangers writers, these writers can write the heck out of some believable romance. And apparently they're going to get another shot. Let's take a peek at the 15th episode of Beast Morphers 2.0, Goin' Ape. Robbie and Roxy's anniversary goes sideways when a misunderstanding gets out of control. That is going to wrap up another Power Rangers Beast Morphers 2.0 episode review. Thank you heroes so much as always for watching. Now that the video's done, you can let me know what you thought of this episode, as well as my review of it, down in the comments below. And while you're down there, make sure you smack that thumbs up button and let me know that you enjoyed this video. Until next time, heroes, may the power protect you.